Hi, I'm from Football Soccer Cleats, and today I'm unboxing the brand new X16 Pure Chaos, which are part of Adidas Football's brand new Mercury pack for the upcoming European Championship and Copa America tournaments in June. So the brand new Pure Chaos is part of Adidas' X collection, which is headlined by several household names including Thomas Muller, Gareth Bale, Luis Suarez, Karim Benzema and Angel Di Maria. So the first thing you'll notice in the brand new Pure Chaos football boot is the new sock system. It's the second boot by Adidas to follow the seamless design after the Pure Control was launched back in the start of 2016. So design wise, this boot is part of Adidas' Mercury pack, which includes silver colorations for the Ace and X ranges. On the Pure Chaos, an Adidas logo is positioned on the lateral side of the boot for a bold effect. The new sock system is coloured red and features a woven tartan design, while the upper itself is entirely coloured silver with a classy slash design. The entire sole is chrome silver for a supremely modern design, so we expect the sole plate should flake off over time, much like what is seen on the Pure Controls by Adidas Football. So I'll bring it closer so we have a closer look at the design. So the whole colourway is in this nice little silver design in the right light. It actually shimmers in the right light, so as you can see, nice little design on the upper here. And just up close, the upper itself has a nice little slash design, and of course you can see those NHD dots on the upper from most of the boot. From the midfoot around to the medial side of the boot, you can see NHG. And you've got red on the back portion of the boot, so you've got a red border on the upper itself, then you've got another red border on the Tech-Fit collar. And the Tech-Fit collar itself has a nice little tartan sort of woven design, nice little touch there. And of course you got the big Adidas logo on the lateral side of the boot in black, and on the medial side of the boot it's pretty much pure silver. And you've got a bit of branding here, you've got the X in there, you can just see it. You've also got embossed Tech-Fit NHD non-stop grip branding as well on the middle side of the boot. And flip it over the sole. This is probably the best thing about this boot in terms of design. It's in a really nice chrome silver. The stud tips are red for a nice effect, but over time this stud sole plate will actually flake off, much like what is seen on the A16 Pure Control, will flake off to a standard grey. So overall, a modern and elegant design and colourway for Adidas Football's first ever X16 Pure Chaos. Personally, I've never been a huge fan of silver boots, but this design has changed my mind. So tech specs wise, we are looking at a completely new model in the X range. The standout feature is of course the Pure Cut cover on the midfoot. It is designed to provide the wearer with a seamless fit and feel, especially when you're in contact with the ball, as well as providing a more of an aerodynamic effect. The Pure Cut covers the laces, so you're really going to have a seamless strike on the ball, especially in the lacing region. This is actually the second boot by Adidas Football, just to sort of focus on a sort of seamless fit, especially on the lacing design. On the Pure Control, they've actually got no laces, but the key thing with this Pure Chaos is that it does have laces. It has laces inside the boot, I don't know if you can see, so you can actually pull them out, so you can really customize the fit the way you want it, and really locks down your midfoot into the shoe. And I feel like that is a really big thing to have in a football boot. Laces really sort of customize the fit the way you want it. Definitely going to be good for wide-footed footballers, and definitely going to be good for narrow-footed footballers. With the A16 Pure Control, it just had that Tech-Fit wrap, which is a much more aggressive sort of system inside the boot, really locking down your foot in place. That was the only sort of midfoot cage to lock down your foot into the shoe. So Adidas have again employed their Tech-Fit collar system, which is inspired by the Tech-Fit collar seen on the original X15.1, and it's designed to aggressively wrap the ankle and midfoot for added responsiveness and compression. So on the X15.1, this is it here, it's a sort of elasticated material which just sits just below the ankle, really sort of compressing down your ankle and heel into the shoe. And now we've got the X16 Pure Chaos, same sort of design, really sort of compresses under the ankle, locking your foot and your midfoot and heel into the shoe. This time around, the collar is much higher on the heel to cancel out any sort of heel slippage you will experience. The heel itself has a grippy dotted application to secure the heel into the boot. So one downfall the A16 Pure Control, the boot with no laces, had is that you got a lot of heel slippage. You sort of heel raised up here, and it didn't sort of stick to the heel of the boot. But this sort of new system, it's pretty much inspired by the first ever Primeknit 2.0 by Adidas Football. It had that raised Achilles support system, and it doesn't really interfere with your Achilles. It just sort of curves away with your Achilles, so it's going to be really nice there. And you've got this added dotted application just to really sort of lock down your heel into the shoe. And of course we've got an external heel counter just to really sort of wrap your heel in just lock it down into the shoe. So the tech fit material itself is very different to the elasticated material seen on the X15.1. It's much more fabricated and merges with the heel lining inside the boots for a seamless fit inside these boots. I'll just bring in the X15 again. It's really sort of elasticated material, and it's just featured on the heel region. It doesn't merge in with the midfoot cage or anything like that, but on the X16 Plus Pure Chaos it's sort of fabricated. It's a very different material, and it sort of merges with this sort of lacing region and really locks down your foot into the shoe, especially in the midfoot region, and it's quite seamless. So you've got this material flowing right down to this seam here, and under here you just got a standard lining inside these boots, but overall it's much seamless inside these boots. On the X15.1 you just had the tech fit collar just on this region here. It didn't flow into this X cage or anything like that, so definite improvement from that boot. So unlike the A16 Plus Pure Control, this boot has laces. You can actually customize the fit the way you want it. The laces themselves are covered by the new Pure Cut sock system. So you've got the Pure Cut sock system really wrapping on top of the laces, providing a seamless fit and feel, especially when you're striking the ball. So I'll just whip the laces out here. It's quite a unique system. I've never seen this on a football boot before, but you've got that tech fit underneath, then you've got the laces on top, so you can really sort of customize the fit the way you want it. So you can really pull it tight, and it's just going to pull it tighter, and the sort of Pure Cut will merge with your foot, and just providing a really sort of seamless lockdown playing experience in the midfoot. Of course, the A16 Plus Pure Control, I've mentioned that a lot in this video, it has that tech fit wrap, which is not seen on the X16 Plus Pure Chaos. It's a really sort of aggressive system, really wrapping down the midfoot, but this has that sort of tech fit fabricated material. It's not going to be as aggressive in the midfoot, but you do have laces. That's the major improvement of the A16 Plus Pure Control. You do have laces, so you can actually sort of tie the laces up like this and tuck them under this Pure Cut sock system. And yes, overall it's going to be much seamless on top of your foot, and it's going to be much more responsive, especially in that midfoot region. It's going to be much better for wide foot footballers and narrow foot footballers because you have laces. And you don't have that worry if you get the wrong size in the A16 Plus Pure Control. If you get the wrong size, you're pretty much stuffed. If you get the wrong size in the X16 Plus Pure Control, you do have that advantage of having laces, so you can tighten it or loosen it the way you want it. Another benefit to this shoe. So the upper itself is very soft and thin, much like on the original X skin seen in the X15.1. The upper itself will be much softer than the X16.1's upper, which will assist in that comfort department. So I'll bring in the X16.1, here we go, here's it here. As you can see, it's a relatively stiff material. It's very thin, but it's quite stiff. It's relatively similar to the X skin seen on the X15.1. The X15.1's X skin upper is very, very thin. That was the one advantage over any other football boot. It was very, very thin, much like the Mercury Vapor 10's upper on the T-Gen synthetic. It's very, very thin. It's not very soft. It's quite stiff, much like the X16.1, the new generation. It's quite stiff and thin. Bring in the X16 Plus Pure Chaos, and as you can see, already it's much thinner. It's much softer, and overall, I think it will be the highest quality upper out of the new X16 range by Adidas Football, and I feel like it's much better than the X15.1's X-Skin upper. It's certainly thin on both of these boots, but it's much softer on the X16 Plus Pure Chaos. So the softer upper should provide the wearer with a very barefoot effect to the bull, not enhancing protection whatsoever though. The upper spans from the heel to the toes of this boot, which will further enhance that seamless fit and feel. So you've got that same upper from the toes of this boot, spanning on top of the seam here, on the medial side of the boot, and it virtually goes to the end of the heel here, and both sides of the boot. It's a really sort of seamless design in the X16 Plus Pure Chaos. So on the X15.1, you've got X skin, which is sort of separated by this X cage, and you've got X skin on the heel here. But overall, you've got a much sort of seamless fit and feel in the X16 Plus Pure Chaos, and that's going to really enhance that touch and feel on the bull. So the upper utilizes a slash-like texture to the upper, as I mentioned before, and NSG or non-stop grip is applied to the upper for a consistent touch, especially in wet weather conditions. So as I bring it closer, you can see that sort of slash design, which will help to flex the boot and just provide extra friction on top of the bull, as well as NSG in these locations, especially on this new Pure Cut sock system. You've got NSG on here, especially on the toe box, around to the medial side, and it sort of stops off here where the X logo is. So you've got NSG and that sort of fragmented sort of slash-like texture, really enhancing friction on the ball. It's going to work better in wet weather conditions. So the sole plate reintroduces their trusty sprint frame design, which is much more flexible straight out of the box than the X16 system seen on the X15.1. Again, the sole plate merges with an external heel counter, which again is going to lock down your heel into the shoe. It's going to merge with this new Tech-Fit collar here and the new Achilles region to really lock down your foot into the shoe. It's really designed to prevent any sort of heel slippage. So definitely a good thing to have. And the sole plate itself, it's not the most flexible out on the market, but over time, once you break down the sole plate, it will really loosen up and be quite beneficial for you. So the stud system itself is the same seen on the X16 Pure Control, which uses a tear shock shaped design studs for a combination of enhanced acceleration and agility in one. So this is a speed boot. Well, it's designed for those chaos players, wingers and strikers, and it doesn't have those sort of bladed stud system. It's got sort of conical studs. They're not overly conical, it's sort of tear dropped, so there's sort of almost an entire circle. Really going to enhance that sort of agility styled running, as well as sort of braking and accelerating as well. And on the heel we've got 4 studs here, and pretty much the same studs on the forefoot, and the central stud here is a nice sort of moon shaped stud just to really enhance that braking. So overall the stud system is quite good. It's going to be quite beneficial for anyone on the pitch, especially wingers and strikers who need to sort of cut and change direction quickly, as well as central midfielders, defenders who just want sort of nice sort of supportive studs. It's going to be great for any position on the pitch. Fit wise, this is where the X16 Plus has improved, as it uses the same last as the Pure Control, which will ultimately mean it will suit any foot type, especially wide footed footballers. The X15.1 was renowned for fitting narrow. If I just bring it again, just compare these two boots. As you can see already, the X15.1 is quite narrow. I mean, I know these are slightly different sizes. This is slightly the bigger boot, but overall, you can just see like that the X16 Plus Pure Chaos is much wider football boot. I'll bring in the X15 on the X16.1 and just compare it now. So the X16.1 is also another wide boot. They've enhanced that last to fit every foot type. Definitely a good thing to have. I'm someone with wide feet myself. I couldn't really fit the X15.1 just because it was just too narrow, but the upper and the new last works together just to really provide a good fit for every foot type. Definitely a good thing to have in a modern day football boot. So the upper pure cut sock system and laces will mean you can actually customize the tightness of this boot. It's an obvious advantage of the X16 Plus Pure Control. And so overall I feel Adidas have hugely improved on the X15.1 and X15 Plus Prime Knit silos. They have now created a boot for everyone, as the last is much wider. So the Pure Cut sock system will create a more seamless feel when striking the ball, and the Tech-Fit wrap and laces help to compress your foot into the shoe for added responsiveness. The laces also means that you can customize the fit and tightness the way you want it, which makes it perfect for any width of foot. Definitely a good thing to have in any pro level football boot. We hope the raised heel region will prevent any sort of heel slippage, which was a problem in the X16 Plus Pure Control football boot. Design wise, again, that's really all about personal preference. I feel this is a solid design for the first ever Pure Chaos, and you should see the Mercury pack worn by several players at the upcoming Euros and Copa America tournaments in June. Which boot by Adidas would you prefer? This brand new X16 Plus Pure Chaos or the A16 Plus Pure Control? Please vote in our poll card now with which boot you would choose. Any questions, we'd love to answer them in the comment section below. Please make sure you check out our review of this X16 Plus Pure Chaos, which is live on our YouTube channel now. Thanks for watching, and as always, we'll see you next time.
Hey guys, Matt from footballboots.co.uk, and today we'll be filming an all new type of video looking at the differences between sample and released boots. So we commonly get our hands on unreleased boots which actually